look at the products that you're offering. Look at the service that you're offering. First of all, is it narrow? Is it niche? But maybe specialty. When you're trying to be too many things in the eyes of a high-paying client, they want a specialist. They want somebody that can completely solve the problem that they have. Most people that are value, being that they're high value, high paying customers, their real fear underneath is being taken advantage of, is to feel stupid, is to have something not meet the expectations. When you take those things off the table and you basically say, hey, you will have none of these problems without telling them, without pitching it at them, but demonstrating and showing them, one would only imagine that they're not only going to decide to go with you, but they're going to tell their other well-paying, high-paying friends.
Today, we are going to be talking about the secrets to attracting high-paying clients in contracting businesses. Okay. And I like it too. I mean, I obviously, in the tile business, I cater to the higher end client base, but I'm not attracting them so much as like referral, but you are attracting them. And I'd love to hear about how.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, I think a lot of contractors get the very, very first thing wrong, is that they focus on price themselves. Price is always the conversation that's being had. And I'm here to set the record absolutely straight. All right. If you want to deal with a higher end clientele, all right, and you go in with the mindset of price being the primary problem, you will look foolish and you won't attract anybody.
So glad you said that.
Because price is price is very low on the list. It becomes a factor when you're competing with an equal contractor that's providing head-to-head service. It's very rare. Somebody looking to get a high-end project done is only concerned with price. I've almost never come across it. The two of them don't go together.
I find that you actually run the risk of offending them by speaking about price.
Well, offending, but concerning them. So, the reality of it is somebody that's doing high-end work or high-level work, they're expecting, a substantial price. They've budgeted for it. And again, the pay that you make or the price that you charge is equal to the problem that you solve, right? So higher-end clients that are building, higher-end projects that are requiring a lot more attention to detail, a lot more specialty skills, they expect to pay the premium for that. Right. But there is, some trade-off to that as well. And a lot of it's just understanding what language they speak. Right. So, again, a couple easy, quick wins here is be transparent in your proposals. And when I say transparent, I mean, detail is very important. And again, making sure that you've listened to their requests, making sure that you understand their problem thoroughly. Okay, making sure that you then, communicate that in your proposal and that you're making yourself the only choice. And again, my experience with dealing with higher end clients and luxury builds, things along those lines, is that image is everything, right? So, when we show up to the job, we're not showing up looking like, one of our guys. We're not showing up looking like a dirty construction worker. You're showing up looking like a professional. You've golf shirts, dress shirts. Those
separated yourself
immediately, right? And then the communication. I think that's one of the bigger things that set you off as either fitting the group or not, is the way you communicate. So have you actually sent a pre-appointment letter? Have you confirmed an appointment? What did you say in that letter? Every opportunity you have in the whole process is really what they're going to be looking at. And the experience, I can't stress this enough. If you make the experience of working with you difficult, all right, they're just going to move on. They have plenty of options and little time.
They don't like friction. No,
exactly.
I agree.
we really want to think about being able to offer a white glove service. Like, what does that even mean? Those are things for us that differentiate our offer. So white glove is, giving the client full transparency of the project. We use Company Cam, and we share with them every detail. Whether they log in and choose to look at it or not, that's entirely up to them. But the feedback is, again, that we're leading our project. We're going out of our way to give them control that they rarely take, and show that we're in control
That's
of
right.
our job. And again, they want that confidence, right? Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to intervene here because, just to share before we get a little bit about my experience with dealing with higher end customers. First of all, we tend to put them on the pedestal because we're in a completely different income bracket for the most case. But it's important to note that they don't have any true idea of what they should be paying, in the sense that generally most customers are kind of comparing what they're paying you to their income. Mm-hmm. And there's such a separations between the two things that higher end clients aren't necessarily like relating what they're paying you to their income, first of all. So you can take that out. And you said, importantly, the experience is that they are after a frictionless, easy experience. And if you can, again, separate the experience that you're providing them in the process, they put a lot of value to that because they have a high amount of value for their time. So if you're removing their involvement and you're giving them a nice, clean process, they will respect you, and they will become more attracted to you. Communication is important because you are dealing with an intellect. You're dealing with a generally higher intelligence of a client. You might disagree, but when I say that, what I mean is that anything you kind of throw at them in a traditional sense of sales process, they don't buy it, right? They're very familiar with that sort of a process. Like, they don't want to be treated in that way. They want to be treated in a respectful fashion, but mostly they want to be treated in a way that their experience is number one.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of attracting high level clients, I mean, really, my position on this one is, I mean, look at the products that you're offering. Look at the service that you're offering. First of all, is it narrow? Is it niche? Is it something that's, maybe specialty, right? I feel like a lot of guys go into it trying to be too many things to too many people. And we see a lot of that in the middle market. I see that day in and day out, where a contractor is trying to be, the bathroom guy, the basement guy, like too many things. And again, when you're trying to be too many things, in the eyes of a high paying client, they want a specialist. They want somebody that can completely solve the problem that they have to their level of expectation. And again, take money off the table for a second. What is left? Like, if money was no object to you, and this is the way I always look at it, is money always comes last. Money is really a measurement of the problem that you're solving, right? So, higher end premium products. We offer a product that's, hand in hand above. Like, anybody that's inquiring about a, standing seam metal roof automatically expects to pay a premium. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're getting the highest level metal roof that there is. And I mean, right there alone, I'm differentiating myself and I'm attracting high paying clients. So it can be as simple as that. And then, the things that we've wrote along the way is how many of them we've served. Like, when we can flip through our Company Cam, and every single day we're doing, other luxury high end builds. Like, I can say to my customer, hey, listen, don't take my word for it. I mean, go visit your neighbors or this guy over here, or the other hundreds of properties that we've done, and that carries a lot of weight, because a lot of that networking and the portfolio you're building. But it all starts with, first of all, what are you offering? So the guy that specializes in everything. It's pretty hard to get your foothold on a high level premium product.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times they're afraid to do that, because of, not being able to connect that, just because they personally wouldn't ever buy something that expensive, doesn't mean somebody else won't. And
that's a huge point.
I find contractors a lot of times, and I'll be the first to admit, I am a price sensitive. I was brought up poor. Like, for me, like, I would not qualify to get a quote from my own business. So, with that, and again, I'm not overly embarrassed to say that, but like, again, there are people here, like about 50% of the population that's price sensitive, right? Meaning their biggest fear is paying too much. That's me. I don't want to pay too much for something. And in fact, I will just do it myself. And even knowing better, I still find myself knee jerking to that, that mentality. I mean, it's very difficult, but I've learned a long time ago that that's not what my customers are. My customers are completely different than me. They have different values. They have different opinions. They have different tastes altogether. And when I stopped, associating what I liked and what I thought was, a premium, expensive product, things changed, because now all of a sudden I'm dealing with people that are, price isn't the object. They just want the highest quality. They want the best. They want, peace of mind. They want, again, something that stands out, that's going to last longer, that's going to be eco-friendly. Like, all of these things that I would never come across my mind when I'm out to buy a roof, for example. Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing applies. Like, if you're, a high-end builder, right? Or you're inspiring to be a high-end builder to attract high-paying clients. Okay. Well, what do we need to do? We need to, again, find those luxury installations we can do. Like, are we, offering, I don't know, a high-end finish, right? Do we have any portfolios of that? Is there a way to demonstrate your skills doing a higher level, high-end product? And we have them in every market. I mean, you have them in yours. We do. But a lot of times they're left on the shelf and they're not used as sales tools. And contractors are afraid to take on that type of work. And I've seen it. I see it with our own clients, right? And you gotta imagine, is every project is an opportunity to build on that high-paying client. Okay, so when you get one, all right, you take that whole story, you take that whole experience that you provided, and you turn it into a case study. You turn it into an example that you're going to take to the next person, then the next person, and the next person, and you start to build this. But one thing that's very, very important if you're going to be attracting high-paying clients is social proof, is, case studies, is being able to show them without them having to dig in about it. So again, we often use the strategy that we, when we meet with a client and we're, they're higher end, we immediately give them our list of properties we've done in the area and ask them to call the homeowners while we're out doing the measurements, while we're out, getting the roof like measured up for a quote. We do that right away, right? And I mean, what is that saying?
Yeah, whether they do or not,
right.
Call the customers. It's assertive. It's confident.
Right. And then, the secret sauce there too, as well, is, has anyone ever looked at your proposal to see if it's a sales tool or it's just an estimate, we'll say, right? I can't tell you the number of jobs we've won simply by having a professional selling tool as a proposal. So again, when someone, absolutely, because it matters. It's like showing up again, looking like a common trade worker, right? Like, guys giving those one-page estimates, that doesn't fly. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. The reason why is because they're used to a certain level of service. They're used to, a certain level of detail. And when we give out those quotes, it's telling them that we're not detailed, that we're not organized, that, we haven't taken pride in our work. And unless they know you personally to know any different, that's immediately, it's just like taking check marks off your score, right? So the next guy that shows up that demonstrates the experience of having, again, buyers buyer's guides and, ways for them, sales tools for them to make decisions with after you're gone. Because the information you share with them, all right, only about 15% of that is being absorbed. It's when they sit down with your quote, right, and they make a decision, they're comparing it to everybody else's. Now, mine happens to be 15 pages long with a hell of a lot of detail, and I am showing projects I've done exactly like this. I'm showing details. I'm giving them they could go through it and feel very confident that I'm an experienced, contractor. And then here's another chance in your proposals. We have 27 questions to ask about a metal roofing contractor. So we put that in as a checklist.
Gotta be
and
kidding
it's
me.
the first
That's
page.
genius.
So ask us these questions and we're going to answer them for you. And we disqualify our other competitors. That's right. So again, they start asking. The other thing we do, again, we put it in a nice proposal package. We give them a folder that they can put everybody else's estimate in, right? And what are they comparing? It's our name right on the front face. So versus the guy that goes there with a one-pager or emails them it, and they don't remember. Maybe they've seen 3 or 4 people. They don't remember, half the stuff that they were told during the meeting. But what are they going to remember? They're going to remember who presented the best, whose package looked most professional. All right.
Right.
And again,
they felt
that's right. And
yeah.
I mean, again, even if you don't present as well, maybe if you're not a hardened salesperson, you can still go miles with having a presentable sales package. And it doesn't take an enormous amount of more effort. And, again, it really tells how detailed you're going to be when you work with them. Because if you're not willing to put that time in, and it's actually no time, that's the funny thing about it. It's no extra time. It's literally like you get them built out, and my proposals are designed to disqualify anybody else that they're considering, right? Like it's simple as that. It goes in with a straight up objective is to inform and educate. Now we don't drill that to them. We want them to ask the questions because we know people are coming before and after us, right? If that's the case, then you know what? I've just given you a guide to make your decision. I've given you a way to systemize this process, and you start to feel a lot more confident. And you have no idea, again, how many people come back to us and we're the trusted consultant. We become the consultant to their project, right? And this is the true key, right? When they can see you as a trusted advisor versus a salesperson or just a company giving a quote, all right, that's the key. That's the real secret sauce. No matter which way we want to slice it, it's the confidence they have in the information you're sharing. Right. So I always bring it back to this as a simple way to understand. We are in the post-trust era. Okay. We can all agree on it. Trust is at like a 40-year all-time low as far as I'm concerned. Nobody trusts anybody. So go in there and treat it like you're proving out a case in court or a court case. Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go there and you're going to demonstrate your evidence. Right? You're going to provide evidence to them of why they should choose you over everybody else. So when you think about it that way, all right, what should be included in there? What shouldn't be included in there? Right? And again, you're laying out your case. You're laying it out in front of them in steps that are easy to digest and easy to follow. So like when you can logically go through a presentation or a proposal, you become emotional. It's funny. It's a funny effect because no one else is giving them that confidence, even from the very get-go, like how you showed up, how you presented, how you left them with information that they could practically use. And you assume, again, that there's a defendant on the other side of the room that you're now having to sit down and listen. They're going to listen to their piece, right? They're the judge. So again, when you show up to court, you want to look good, feel good, like you want to have all of your evidence in order, right? And you want to prove to them that you're the best that they could choose. And it's very simple when you look at it that way. And then after that, right, we're going to use that case as a precedent. All right, we're going to use that situation. So when you start to think about like setting up your sales in that order, all right, this is very, very helpful because somebody who's spent a large amount of money with you, Okay, they leave a mark on your business if you allow it, if you capture it. Okay,
and if you capture it,
and again, that story that you're telling or sharing with the next person, you're providing them with confidence. And here's the thing: most people that are value, being that they're high value, high paying customers, their real fear underneath is being taken advantage of, is to feel stupid, is to have, something not, meet the expectations, to have to deal with X, Y, and Z. So again, when you take those things off the table and you basically say, hey, you will have none of these problems, without telling them, without pitching it at them, but demonstrating and showing them, all right, one would only imagine that, they're not only going to decide to go with you, but they're going to tell their other well-paying, high-paying friends.
Right. That's where it starts to create gravity. That's where you get that kind of like Louis Vuitton effect, right?
Absolutely.
The next wealthy client is after you because they, not just anybody can have you.
Right. So
you just get that.
I think there's an important point to be made here. Okay. So one thing that I find is a misconception as well is that high-paying clients don't necessarily have to be wealthy.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Okay. But dig into that a little bit.
So let me say it in a way that hopefully makes sense. So a lot of customers that buy into our roofing systems, they're not multimillionaires. All right, they're just average people. Okay, but they're high paying. Meaning that they're willing to pay more than their neighbor next door and probably the 3/3 of the entire neighborhood, because they have a certain taste and expectation for that service. All right. They've saved up. Their home is their pride. Like that is their castle. They're the ones with the perfect lawns, like, the ones that really take care of their homes and value it. Okay. But they're not necessarily like what we imagine as being, high rollers, and like that's a different group. And again, there's high paying people in there in that class as well, but there's also the same as anywhere else. There's, cheap and people that don't want to pay value in those class levels. So what's really important when you want to attract a high paying customer, because a high paying customer can come from many different places. Okay. And again, it's not even, even a consumer, it's, government, like it can come from commercial, it can come from again, it's the type of problem that you solve that attracts those people. Right. So like I said, the differentiation between just being a roofer and being a metal roofing contractor that provides a specialty standing seam metal roof. All right. That's a perfect example of, standing outside of the box of what, we typically assume is a roofer. A roofer does shingles or whatever. All right. And it's a commodity. Well, you're going to attract commodity buyers. You're going to attract people that are middle of the road. And yeah, there can be some high paying ones in there. But in terms of really like only dealing with high paying customers, what we have to be very cautious of is our own bias. Okay. And I see this with sales reps and my sales team. And again, it doesn't matter where they reside or where they're coming from, as much as it matters what is their expectation and taste, right? What problem is it that they're trying to solve, and why are they trying to solve that problem? That's more important. Right. Because if they have a problem, if it's their problem, not yours, right? And I sit back and I wonder all the time. I'm like, how did that woman put on a $50,000 roof on that house? You know what I mean? Like she's in the hood, and I'm like, but that's her choice. But it happens all the time though. Like that's the crazy part. Like it's not unusual. Like go through subdivisions and you'll see maybe it's that person wants the pride of ownership. Like we see it constantly where, it's their place. They want to stand out. They want to look better than all the neighbors' houses, and they're willing to put, 50, 100 grand into it. That's a high paying customer, right? And if you learn to qualify properly and learn to have conversations with people to get to that why, all right, you're going to find them in every single class all the way up. So a high paying customer can come from really anywhere.
That's fantastic. Now, to any of you, if you found any value in this week's live, I encourage you all to subscribe, follow. Next week, we're going to be talking about the secrets of managing subcontractors like a pro. And that is something I know a lot of us would love to dig into. Follow us for the next one.